Good Monday morning. I am so excited to talk about this is like literally one of my favorite topics because I personally feel like most people in the world are playing way too small because they don't realize and don't understand the capability that they actually have in their own background and their skill set and the things that they're good at. And so if I can do my part in this world to help people explore those, discover those things, and actually create a business model and monetize off of them, then I feel like I am doing my part. And it is one of my favorite things to talk about. And I said there's a 12-week series going on here. There's 12 parts to building an online business empire, I believe, that are super important. And so we did week one, which was some mindset, and week two, which was some core values. And now week three is profiting from your superpowers, turning your unique strengths into online success. I like to help business owners that are in the online space, though I can help them anywhere in any type of business. I've owned quite a few myself, brick and mortar to online retail to network marketing and everything in between. And I really, really like helping people in the online space with what we have right now. I actually just reposted a graphic that I had in our self-made community about the internet and being able to create business online. And so I just reposted on my personal page. I was like, who's taking the bull by the horns, right? Like there's so much opportunity out there for us to create our own entrepreneurial, just such a hard word for me to say. Anybody else have a hard time saying entrepreneurial? It gets stuck in there. I love this space. I hope that I can help you today. And please, by all means, if you feel like this was meant for, you've heard this a little bit before, I'm going to dive into some different things. Maybe something else will hit you a little bit differently. But if you feel like sharing this out with anybody, there's plenty of places to go in and grab that and share it from. You'll get an email later today that'll be a recap of this. It's also going to contain a form in there. If you've never filled out my superpower form or gone through it, I highly recommend doing that. And that will come in the email too. So let me just kick this off by sharing with you like what I believe is what this means. What does finding your superpowers and being able to profit off of them mean? So I believe that each person possesses unique qualities, skills, talents that they can consider their superpowers. I call it your own intellectual property, or IP. These superpowers are not supernatural abilities. Unless you have some of those, please clue me in, because we could probably monetize really greatly off of those. And I don't realize that you actually are a different human walking this earth. However, these are not supernatural abilities, but rather extraordinary attributes that set you apart and make you capable of achieving remarkable feats in various areas of your life. These abilities can include things like exceptional creativity, empathy, problem-solving skills, leadership qualities, resilience, so many things that you may not even realize you actually contain in your brain, in your body, in your heart, in your spirit, in your soul. Embracing and harnessing these individual strengths can lead to personal growth, success, the ability to make positive impact in the people in the world around you. So that to me is what your superpowers are. Now, our job is to go and discover what those unique superpowers are and how they can be transformed into framework or something that's sellable, something you can monetize off of. And here's just top 5 ways that you can recognize or uncover them. And then I'm going to go through a like brainstorming activity with you and everything. So these are the 5 ways to recognize or uncover your superpowers. First of all, self-reflection. Take some time to like get introspective, analyze your experiences, things you've been through, things you've gone to school for, things you're passionate about, things or areas that you actually excel in and maybe set you apart from other people. Reflect on some moments when you felt most fulfilled and most accomplished. Some of those may contain what your superpowers are. Seek feedback. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask your colleagues about your strengths and what they admire about you. Sometimes other people can see our abilities and pull them out of us more clearly than we can. Number 3, embrace challenges. Face new challenges. Step out of your comfort zone. Level up. Adversity can reveal some hidden strengths and skills you didn't even know that you had. And honestly, this is something that I'm actually going through right at this very moment. there's some projects I'm working on, some things seem scary, some things seem very uncomfortable, some things seem like, is this really the path that I set out on? Are these things that I actually want to do? And you can very easily talk yourself out of things that seem uncomfortable or a little bit different or scary. However, if you keep pushing through those, you can actually embrace the challenge that you're feeling and realize how strong and how resilient you are and what skill set you could actually bring to the table to solve those problems, and the fear kind of disappears. Number 4, explore interests. Engage in various activities and explore different fields to see what you feel most inspired in, things that really bring out the best in you, the things that make you feel passionate. And number 5, keep a journal. I know all my coaching clients love when I say, get out the journal. I say, have fun with it. Get the purple pen, get the green pen, get the red marker, get the journal, and have fun with it. Maintain a journal to document your thoughts, the things that you achieve, the moments that seem to keep you engaged, the things that don't feel so good, then get rid of those, move them out of the way, move on. Reviewing it regularly can help you identify patterns and reoccurring things that keep coming up that indicate what your superpowers might be. Sometimes I always step back and say this, sometimes it's something horrific or difficult or life altering that you went through. And at the time you had no idea just how hard that was going to be to go through that. And sometimes you sit back and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I went through that. And it seemed awful. But the funny thing is when you did go through it, you overcame it. And what you can do is go back and document that. There are other people who are going to go through that same exact thing and could use your system or your framework on how you can help others overcome it too. I have somebody in my coaching program right now that's actually gone through some pretty horrific life experiences, but she did it with such grace and has come out on the other side with absolute joy. And she didn't necessarily have anybody teach her how to do that. It just was innate. It was something that took over in herself that she knew that she needed to do to get through those things. And now we're creating the framework and the system so she can go out and teach other people who've been through similar experiences to go through it with grace and with joy and come out on the other side a much better, stronger, bigger, badder, badass person, right? And who wouldn't pay for that has been through something like that and just can't seem to climb out of that hole? Because some of us just don't innately have that ability that she had. Now we just need to put it into a framework and help her monetize on it so she can go out and help other people do what she did. That's just one example, right? So sometimes it's just something horrible we've been through or something we're going through or something we've done and overcome. And we did a lot of research or we did a lot of, we did a lot of homework. We did a lot of coaching ourselves. And now we can turn around and create a program out of that comes from our superpowers and makes us a whole lot of money. Okay. So recognizing your superpowers, I have this form that I have people fill out and it's lengthy, I will admit it, but you can't just go and kind of like take a 5-minute survey on what your superpowers are and know that you figured it out. It takes some really deep introspection and reflection and asking questions and taking it to your family and your friends and the people closest to you so you can figure out what those are. So I'm going to run through just a few things that might be contained in that, but it's best if you just go to the form, which will come out in the email later today. So make sure you look for that. Also, will probably get posted in the community, the self-made community. So number 1, what are unique talents or skills that you possess that you believe you could turn into a business? Have you ever discovered any special abilities or strengths that set you apart from other people? Number 3, are there any specific activities or hobbies you excel at which you could potentially monetize? Have you ever received compliments or recognition for a particular talent or skill you possess? Can you think of any ways you could leverage your strengths to create a product or service for a very niche market? Are there any superpowers or abilities you wish you had, and how could you create a business around them? Because there are things you could actually go learn and then turn around and create a business for them. I just had somebody come to me that was going to potentially come into my program. She just knew that she wanted to be an entrepreneur, but she wasn't really sure what she wanted to do. So she went and set forth on one path, and through that path realized that she wasn't really going to enjoy doing that. But at the same time, she was taking this little mini free course on something that had to do with artificial intelligence. And she said, you know what? I'm just going to pause. I am going to learn this. And then I am going to go turn around and create my own program and teach it. You can do that too. Maybe your superpower is actually being able to learn bits and pieces of information about different things and then turn them into a training or coaching module that you can then go and monetize on. There's so many ways you can go out there and take your superpowers and utilize them. It may not be actually selling your superpower. It may be taking your superpower and creating something that can be sellable. I always ask people what makes you different or weird. And I only do that because it sets your brand apart when you actually go to take these superpowers and monetize on them. And weird doesn't need to be a bad thing, by the way, just makes you different or weird, but it sets you apart. And that's helpful and beneficial when you go out into this big online marketplace that is filled with all kinds of other people in competition. Can you think of any potential products or services that could be developed based on your hobbies or interests? Can you identify any trends or emerging industries where your talents could be in high demand? Have you ever considered the potential scalability of your business idea based on your superpowers? Are there any existing successful businesses that align with your superpowers, and how could you adapt your strengths to them? These are just a few questions you can go through and ask yourself, but I highly recommend going through the form and just doing some deep digging and set some time aside for it. You don't have to do it all at once. It can be done in parts, but it is really eye-opening. And it's one of the hardest things that I think my coaching program people go through, is because they have to start thinking about themselves and what they're good at. And we don't innately do that. We tend to resort to what we are not good at and trying to fix our problems, rather than focusing on what we are really good at and what we could go help others with. Okay. So how do we connect these superpowers to your business goals, to things that you want to create? We need to do some exploration. We actually need to have some business goals set. Like, what do you actually want out of this? If you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, but you just don't know where to go with it, we need to identify a few things. We need to map out those superpowers and match them up with business activities and figure out how we can connect those superpowers to the goals. So 5 ways to connect your superpowers to a business goal and create a monetization plan. First is identify your unique skills. You need to recognize those superpowers. So go through that activity. Let's figure those out first. What sets you apart, and determine how these abilities can add value to the target audience or solve a problem. We need to go out there and add value, solve problems. If we can do those things, then we can monetize on it. Because maybe your superpower is underwater basket weaving. I've used this forever as an example because it's just ridiculously funny. You still need to figure out how you would help somebody with that and how you could monetize off of it, right? So like, we can have all these superpowers that don't necessarily turn into anything monetizable. So we need to identify the unique skills and then kind of figure out, how can I monetize this? And maybe you do have some unique skills in there, but you're like, I'm not sure how I would monetize that. That's where you come somewhere to like the self-made community and toss your ideas around with other people, so we can help you figure out and dig through what those could be and how you can monetize on them. Define your target market. We need to figure out who very specifically is the demographic for what your superpower problems you solve, or add value to. We need to figure out very specifically who that is. And we talk a lot about this in my program, because sometimes we think that we want to be able to just go out and help everybody, and then we don't actually define the very specific superpower that's going to solve such a big problem that keeps people up at night, that then we have this huge audience and we're talking to everyone, so we sell no one. So defining your target market for this and attaching it to your superpowers, one of the most important steps you will do. Number 3, offer specialized services or products, leveraging your superpowers to create unique and specialized offerings that cater to your target market needs. Ensure that your products or services stand out in the market and provide distinct benefits. Again, that goes to tying back to your actual audience and solving very small, we call them tiny little micro nitty gritty problems that keep them up at night and they are having a hard time falling asleep because of these things keep bugging them. If you can solve one of those problems for people with your superpowers, you are going to do very well. Then we just need to go find those very specific people, and you'll have your clients and your new customers coming to you because they know already you're going to solve their problem. Personal branding, building a strong personal brand around your superpowers and showcasing your expertise through content creation, social media, networking, and establishing yourself as an authority in that little niche topic of yours. So that personal branding becomes very important when you think about, here's my superpowers. Now, how do I take those and brand those so that people will know me for that and understand I can solve those little problems keeping them up at night? And then creating multiple revenue streams. Going through my own coaching program and mastermind right now, where we're creating these ecosystems, right? And how important that can be when you're talking about one thing that you're doing, but how could that spider web off into multiple things that you could create revenue from one main idea, one main brand? So some of this will take some work, right? This isn't an overnight thing. This is something that maybe you do need a coach or a mentor or a group of like-minded people to be working all of this out in, so that you can create the business of your dream, the online empire of your dreams, right? You've been wanting to do this forever. You're just not sure how to do it. Maybe you need the framework to walk through all of this. Here's where you start. Go through this training a few times, start taking some of the advice I'm giving you. And then if you need more, I am always here to help you figure out the rest of that plan, or help set you on a journey to figure out how you would get to the next steps. Bringing your superpowers to life and monetizing on them. So I have a few people in my program right now that are really great examples of this. One is a nurse who has gone through and has been watching, especially through the whole pandemic and things that are happening to nurses. I think we're all very aware that nurses were put through the ringer, right? They all got very burnt out. They are all questioning if they actually went into the right career path, right? They are extremely burnt out. They are overwhelmed. They are, there are not enough of them, and a lot left the field because of it. So we have a nurse in our program that's gone through this, has been watching it, but also has a very unique skill set in training and coaching nurses on like oh my gosh, I'm losing the word for what it is, self-care, right? She also has a unique skill set in using aromatherapy and essential oils along with this. So she has a very unique skill set that can help a large quantity of people out there struggling in that nursing field, and she wants to help people stay in the field but take care of themselves. So that one unique superpower that she has probably has multiple, and has an entire ecosystem of things that she can create for that one very targeted niche of burnt out nurses. And we can create an entire program around that for her that she can then go and monetize on, right? So there's a lot of different things that you have to sometimes just sit back and say, maybe you're like, I don't like my job, but I'm really good at it. But man, I just do not like getting up and going to that rat race or that 9 to 5 every single day. How could I now take what that skill set is and turn it into my own business where I call the shots, I call the hours, I do all of the things. We go through and pull out your superpowers from all of that and create that business plan. Okay, last but not least, when we start going through this journey and we think, ooh, I really want to do this, what is the very first thing that happens? Almost immediately, our brain sets out on this path of limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I can't do that. I'm scared. I have fear. What if I fail? I'm not as good as I think I am. There's plenty of people in this space doing almost exactly what I'm doing, and what makes me think that I could do as much as them. I could do it as good as them. So let me take you through 5 real quick things on, just getting those out of the way so that you can move on and create this online empire or this business dream from your superpowers that you've always wanted to create. So number 1 is self-awareness. Recognize your limiting beliefs, write them down. Let's instead of just letting them loom around in your head, let's identify exactly what they are, because without identifying them, there is nothing we can do about them. Let's figure out what it is. Is the biggest fear you don't have enough money? Is the biggest fear you don't have enough time? Is the biggest fear that you're afraid you're going to fail? Is the biggest fear that you're worried about what other people are going to think of you? Your family, your friends are going to think you're crazy for creating your own business and your own idea? Now, once you have them identified, we can go work through those. The second step to that is then creating some positive affirmations to replace those limiting beliefs with positive thought processes. So every time it comes into your head, I have my 5 daily affirmations over on the left-hand side of my desk that I repeat to myself throughout the day, every time I'm at this desk, so that I continue on the journey of what I know I can create and don't let any of those limiting beliefs get in my way. Number 3, surround yourself with support. Seek out mentors, seek out coaches or like-minded individuals, and get yourself in that community and in that support system so that you don't lose sight of what you set out to do and build the business of your dreams, build on your superpowers. Go out and help other people and create a business out of that. You might need to seek out a mentor. You might need to seek out a coach. You might need to seek out a group of individuals to collaborate with and have accountability with. And I'll just say this as a side note, I talk about this all the time. When you're becoming the CEO of your business, you best create that board of directors. That board of directors is going to keep your mindset in check, and your proximity to the people around you is going to determine it will almost directly determine your success or failure in what you're going out to do. If you surround yourself with losers, you will lose. If you surround yourself with winners, you will win. And always be leveling up those board of directors. They should not stay the same for your entire life, because there's new levels that you need to grow to. So seek out those people and those like-minded individuals so that you can continue on your journey and you are not surrounding yourself with people who are not going anywhere. Continue to surround yourself with people and you will continue to stay right there in that little corner with those little small-minded individuals. Not everybody's meant for big things. It's okay. You got to leave them there and go do your thing and move on. Okay, before I go down a rabbit hole, that's a whole nother training. Take small steps. Number 4, take small steps. Start by setting achievable goals and taking small actions towards your big business idea. So when I say this, I heard this just in the last 24 hours, just because we do need to take small steps so that we have some small quick wins. I wholeheartedly believe in having some small quick wins. However, that doesn't mean taking your big idea and shrinking it. It means keep the big idea, but take some small steps so you have some small wins along the way so that you feel like you're achieving something along the way. But don't minimize the big overall goal. Do not do that just so that you feel like you're winning, right? The bigger overall goal stays there. We take that and break that down into small achievable chunks so that we're moving in the right direction. And then last is embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Do not let fear of failure hold you back. You will get to a certain point in your life where you will be so sick of staying mediocre that you will knock fear off to the side and say, you know what, I'm going to do it anyways. I might fail. I might fall on my face. I'm going to do it anyways. I think I have shared with you guys on this training that I do regularly. I have had way more failures than successes. I sometimes hate saying that out loud. It makes me want to vomit a little bit. I intend on the rest of my journey being more successes than failures. But guess what? I had to go through some of those failures to learn everything I know now, to have my intellectual property, my IP that I can turn around and go and help people not stumble on those same stumbling blocks throughout their journey. Right? But I had to go through those failures to get that experience, to overcome it, to learn how to overcome it, to then teach it and instill it in everything that we do in the winning framework that we have. Right? So embrace failure. It is what's going to get you to the next milestone. If you say, oop, I'm too scared, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to stay right here where I'm at, where it's comfortable. I'm going to keep doing the same thing I've been doing for the last 5 years, the last 7 years, because it's comfortable there. And I don't have to worry so much about maybe I won't, maybe I'll fail. What will people think of me if I move on to this next journey for me, myself, my family, and what I want out of life? Nope, I'll just stay back here where it's real comfy, because that's comfy. And I don't really have to, I don't really fail at that. I'm actually already really good at it, but it's actually not scaling anywhere. just kind of staying in the same spot. That's not where you want to be. That is not where you want to be. So if you find yourself doing that, we need to learn how to embrace some failure and create new learning opportunities, even if we fall on our face a few times. But guess what? I'll take you back up to number 3, which is surround yourself with support. So when you fall on your face, you have someone to pick you back up again and show you what you were meant to go do, right? And that's why we keep our board of directors on in this space of leveling up. And guess what? If someone on your board of director teams helps you get somewhere, but then they aren't capable or don't have the ability to help you getting to the next level because you already reached that level now, then it's time to maybe move them over here to the friends list and you replace that spot with somebody who's on the next thing with you. It's okay to keep growing. It is absolutely okay to keep growing. We watched the Taylor Swift documentary last night, the Americana. Can't remember what it's exactly called. It was a homework assignment. And after we were done with it, because I don't necessarily align with her political views, my mom and I had a discussion about it. And she's like, what'd you think about that? And I go, you know what? I don't have to agree with everything, but I do agree with she stood up for what she believed in and said, you know what? This could be a massive a mistake for my career, but my core values are so strong in what I stand in and what I stand for that I have to do this. That I respect. She looked fear in the face and said, I don't care. I'm going to go do this anyways. There's so many lessons in that documentary. I was so glad that it was a homework assignment for me. So I will share that with you. Go watch it, take some notes, figure out what she's done right, do some reflection, and make a decision. Do you want to kick fear in the face and go level up, or you want to stay comfortable where you're at and not figure out what your superpowers are and go attack them? Some of us will figure out what our superpowers are, but still stay stuck in that little tiny circle we're comfortable in and give it all kinds of excuses and stay there. I don't want you to do that. I want to be your cheerleader. I want to help you uncover, but I want you to actually go execute. I want to help you go execute on those. So I enjoyed this morning. I hope you did too. It's one of my favorite subjects, and I will send out an email that has some follow-up notes in it about this, but also the forum if you want to start going and discovering your superpowers. And if you know someone else that needs it, feel free to share that forum with them. By all means, I would love for other people to discover and uncover theirs too. I hope you guys have a fabulous week, and I will see you back here next Monday morning.